Today on an all-new Dr. Phil. Her grown son lives at home.
He insists that I support him till he decides to grow up.
While I'm there on the couch, I'd kick her across the room. Apparently, I broke a rib.
She's terminally ill.
He says you play the cancer card. He says, quote, I'm not a blanking nurse.
And he's resentful.
You think she shouldn't have brought you into this world?
I just hate life.
He doesn't want to live, but I do.
Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today's going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. Vera says her 21-year-old son is lazy, unmotivated, won't get a job, an education, won't shave, even pick up his clothes from the floor. She claims Michael gets so nasty that he scares her and she has to sleep with her door locked at night. The worst part is that Vera, well, she's dealing with stage 4 cancer. She says it's terminal. You would think her illness would be her biggest worry, but instead Vera says she's been spending her precious time worrying about her son.
My son, Michael, blames me for everything in his life.
Growing up, you didn't teach me a thing about life.
Michael tells me all the time, he didn't ask to be born. If I didn't want to have him, I should have had an abortion. You tell me all the time that you didn't ask to be born.
Okay, yeah, that's a fact.
He insists that I support him financially till he decides to grow up. The only time Michael was ever independent was this past March. He worked till June. Once he lost his job, he came back to the house. I'm spending $500 to $600 a month on Michael.
That's all she wants from me is money, 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 money.
My income's very minimal, yet I'm still taking care of him and supporting him, paying his phone bill, car insurance, gas. I've always worked, and I've always provided for us. You are not doing anything for us. He doesn't do anything but sit on the couch, smoke pot, play video games. The moment I start talking about responsibility, he gets very negative, very aggressive. He calls me retard. Things have gotten so bad, I stay in my bedroom. I sleep with a lock on my door. I can't handle it anymore. It's making me sick. I have terminal cancer. I have to be on medication for the rest of my life. Michael stressing me out affects me so much. Cancer loves stress, and that's what I have, is stress all the time.
First off, I am really glad you're here.
Thank you, Dr. Phil.
Tell me about your illness.
I started out with breast cancer in 2011, and I was on chemo for a year. I had a double mastectomy, had 30 sessions of radiation, and it came back to my lungs and to my spine and my hip.
And your son was how old at that time?
13.
And how did he react at the time?
I was starting to have problems with him, and it just got progressively worse.
Okay.
He's just constantly telling me that he didn't ask to be born, that I should have had an abortion, that I shouldn't have had him if I wasn't going to take care of him.
And he says you play the cancer card.
Yes.
So he's not empathetic about this at all? He's not?
No, he doesn't help me at all.
Yeah. How does he treat you day to day?
Not very well. We don't really talk. I'm in my room most of the time because lately we've been having a lot of discussions and we've been arguing back and forth. Anytime I talk to him about any type of responsibility, then he's aggressive with me. It's very nasty to me.
Why do you allow that?
I'm afraid to kick him out and leave him homeless. I want him to, I'm trying to help him.
Do you think what you're doing now is helping him evolve?
No.
Well, Michael's here. He says his mother just loves to nag him endlessly, and in fact, it's all her fault that he doesn't have any manners because she didn't raise him right. Take a look.
My mom literally didn't raise me. She just paid bills and put food in my mouth. My mom didn't teach me how difficult life was going to be. She didn't tell me about bills, mortgage, or having to pay taxes. The main thing my mother and I fight about is money. Whenever I don't have money, I'm a piece of Anytime I'm making money, that's when she loves me the most. I'd say I'm a little resentful that she didn't set me up for life. I could have been in a way better position now if I knew exactly what to do. The only advice my mom ever told me was to go to school and go to college and get an education. I've always hated the educational system.
Michael, first of all, you didn't want to go to school.
Yeah.
From little.
I always told you that school was never my thing. My mom never really taught me anything growing up about responsibility or being an adult. When she wanted to teach me, it was already too late. My mom plays the cancer card a lot. Anytime she meets somebody new, she mentions her cancer. I don't have the mental capacity to be the sweetheart that she watches on the Hallmark Channel. Every year she thinks that she's gonna die, but I don't think she's gonna die anytime soon. She's just gonna be a pain in my ass till the day I die.
You're 22, right?
Yep.
Okay, and what's your education?
GED.
When did you drop out of high school?
Probably about 9th grade.
Why'd you drop out?
Don't like school.
Uh-huh.
Government institution.
You were 13 when she was diagnosed?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. And how'd you feel about it when she got diagnosed?
Stressed me out a lot. You know, I was worried about her, and I was doing about anything I could to help her.
Are you concerned about her now?
Yeah, of course, I always am.
I was listening to what you were saying on the tape. It sounds like you don't believe that she's really very sick. You said you think she'll...
Like, I know she's sick, but I know she's gonna live past through it and work through it and all. I don't think she's gonna die.
Yeah. Well, I hope you're right.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Yeah. It sounds like you're being really difficult to live with. Would you agree?
It takes two to tango, you know?
You admit that, this is a quote, that it sucked when she was diagnosed because you had to cancel your life and take care of her. And you state that, quote, I'm not a blanking nurse.
Yeah.
I don't have much empathy for people.
Yeah, it's hard for me to show much emotion or, like, be sympathetic towards certain things at certain times.
But you say that's not your responsibility, that's hers because she didn't teach you that?
Well, yeah, if I was raised differently, yeah. She really didn't teach me much about manners. She was just came to the house, you know, fed me, and that's it.
You say you know that she didn't teach you things, so you know there are voids, that she didn't teach you manners, she doesn't teach you certain things that would prepare you to do better in life, which is good insight. You say you know that, whether you're right about why the voids are there, you say you know they're there. What are you doing to fill them?
Well, not much really. Like, I've been looking for a job and, you know, trying to work to give her money and all that, but, you know, it just doesn't work out the way I want it to be.
Yeah. Vera says her son insists she should be financially responsible for him until he decides to grow up. He's still living at home. Seems to me that's past time, but I want to see what they have to say about that. We'll be right back.
I was telling her that if she hits me, I'm gonna hit her back.
And when it gets violent, he's had the tendency to hurt me.
She called the cops on me, and I told her, officer, I didn't beat her, but I kicked the out of her.
And later...
Can I leave him here and go home?
No. Not just no, but hell no.
2 years ago, I bought him a car. He calls it an old lady car. He calls it birth control because he can't pick up women in it. He's not thankful at all for that car. The car was brand new. It was clean inside. Everything was nice. He doesn't take care of it. It's a disaster. The interior is really, really nasty. Michael's not thankful for anything I do.
Well, Vera says her 21-year-old son lives with her, doesn't work, sits at home all day, watches TV, and feels she should take care of him since he did not ask to be born. Now, Michael says he is good at staying calm at the beginning of an argument with his mother, but then she pushes him to the edge, and he's known to react. Take a look.
When I speak to Michael about responsibilities, and it gets violent. And when it gets violent, he's had the tendency to hurt me.
It's gotten physical one time with my mom. She put her hands up like she was gonna punch me. I was telling her that if she hits me, I'm gonna hit her back. I fall back onto the couch and she lunges at me while I'm falling, and while I'm there on the couch, I just kick her right off, you know. I get her right across the room. It was mainly just to get her off me, you know. Apparently I broke her rib and she called the cops on me, and she lied to the cops told them that I beat her, and I told her, officer, I didn't beat her, but I kicked the out of her.
After that, we've had a couple other incidents. When Michael was younger, he had told his friends that he wanted to kill me. Michael's friends told me that he said these things. I never called Michael on the incident. To this day, he doesn't even know that I know that, but it's always been in the back of my head.
You said that she didn't teach you manners and didn't teach you certain things. Did anybody ever tell you that you're not supposed to hit a woman?
I don't like taking abuse, especially from women or anybody, like anybody, you know, and especially a woman that thinks that she can hit me, but I can't hit her because of some gender stereotype.
Well, I wrote down some of the things you said, and I want to get this in context. You said she's very dramatic about the cancer. You said she just wanted to bitch about how much pain she's in. I can't stand there and listen to her moan. I don't care about school. I'm an anti-federalist. I don't believe in taxes. I don't support the government. I hate working for someone else. If I could die any day, it wouldn't bother me. If I was just sitting here smoking a cigarette and died, that'd be awesome. I'm an online troll. If women want equal rights, then they're going to get hard lefts. Charming.
Yeah, thank you. I try.
Your fear is what? You're going to pass from this world before he's prepared to take care of himself?
That's correct. I'm stuck. I've tried everything. It's getting to a point where I'm always nervous. I'm scared that he might hurt me one day, and I'm trying to survive. He doesn't want to live, but I do. And I don't know what to do anymore, so I'm asking your advice. What should I do?
Do you have any questions for me?
Not really.
Okay, well, that saves time for me to answer your questions. All right, when we come back, I'm going to answer these questions with great specificity. We'll be right back. You're rewarding bad behavior. Now, he can call you names, and you can't control that because you don't control him.
Correct.
But you can control where he calls you bad names from. Vera says her son went from being a happy child to a negative, lazy person with a dark cloud over his head. And Michael says his mother's irrational, overly sensitive, always plays the cancer card, and just won't stop being a pain in the ass. You know, you may be right. The good news about that is you don't have to subject yourself to that at all. Before the break, I said I had some questions for you. Why do you have such a chip on your shoulder?
I don't know. I just hate life.
Do you want help with your depression?
Oh yeah, like really, my depression roots around not having any money or having to work too hard and be underpaid.
Let me tell you, I've been what broke wants to be when broke grows up, so I understand about not having money. I've lived on the street, so I get it. And one thing I've learned is I don't care what it is you do, whatever job you have, what you're basically doing is selling your services to the world. I don't care if you work for the biggest company in the world, you work for General Motors, you're still in business for yourself. You have a company of one. It all is a function of how you present yourself. And when you come in and you say, well, okay, here's the deal. I don't like people. I don't care about people. I don't know you, don't care about you, don't have any interest in you. It's just all about me getting money and you leaving me alone. Well, that's not really charming.
I'm an honest guy, and I kind of am. You know, I'm pretty brutally honest, and that's what people don't like about me because I say what's on my mind.
Yeah, well, you're not hard to read.
No, of course not.
I think what you are is scared. And I think you're afraid that you're going to be rejected, and your attitude is just get them before they get me.
I get rejected a lot, plenty of times.
Yeah, I'm sure you do, because that doesn't work. I understand your strategy, it just doesn't work. But I'm telling you that if you're going to get along in life and be self-sufficient and have enough money to sustain yourself and have a reasonable life, then you're going to need to kind of curate some kind of a personality some kind of socialization because you're not very well socialized.
You know, I don't need any more friends than what I got. You know, I just want to work. I take pride in whatever work I do. And anything I can, I try to do it 110%, at least when it comes to work.
Do you have any pride in yourself?
Not really.
You take pride in working hard?
Yeah.
That you're a hard worker? You take pride in that?
Yes, sir.
Do you take any kind of pride in the way you treat other people?
I treat them the way they treat me.
You've been very respectful with me today.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know you. And, you know, you're supposed to be like a doctor type of person, you know, so. You gotta put up a little bit of a front. You know, I can't be like a total.
Well, have I treated you with respect?
Yeah, fairly.
If I can show you, help you, get more of what you want in your life, you would want that, right?
Well, I mainly have always just wanted to be happy. And I don't think I've ever really been happy for a long period of time or longer than a couple days.
I used to be in private practice, and there were people that I worked with that never knew they were depressed until they weren't. And when they finally got out of their depression, they were like, holy wow. There's actually something to get up for in the morning. And I'm saying you're getting in your own way. And if I can get you with somebody to help you alleviate anxiety and depression and work with you from a life coach standpoint to try and get you into a career path that you can be excited about, would you not want that?
Oh, yeah, of course. For me, yeah, it's a little hard for looking at that.
It's hard to what?
It's hard to get a job, you know, and stay, you know, with a steady job for me, because I don't like being in one place all the time and doing the same thing over and over
Let me tell you,
again.
there are jobs that fit every kind of personality.
Let me tell you.
Maybe you need to be a bounty hunter. I don't know.
No.
I mean, who knows? I mean, I don't know what fits you, but there's a place for everybody in this world, and it begins with getting you mentally, emotionally, and physically healthy. Have you had a better offer?
No. Well, except for working on the pipeline, but I messed that up myself.
If I get you that help, you'll embrace that.
Yeah.
I'm going to get somebody involved here to work on this. And
Can I leave him here?
Pardon me?
Can I leave him here and go home?
No. Not just no, but hell no. Okay? Okay. All right, coming up, another mother and her 21-year-old son, but this time the son wrote in, not the mother. We'll meet them next.
But once I turned 18, we started going to the clubs. When my mom and I walk into a club, people think we're dating.
I need Isaac to respect me as a mother, not like a sister or a best friend.
And later, do you understand how many mothers in America would love to hear their sons say, I want you more involved in my life? I mean, come on.
Well, now he's saying it.
I love skateboarding. It's a passion of mine. I fractured my ankles, broken my wrist. A year and a half ago, I got a head injury. Anytime I'll be hurting, my mom will just throw in my face that she has cancer. I tell her it's not a competition because she blows me out of the water just by saying cancer.
Okay, so here we are. Dysfunctional relationship, right?
Definitely.
Not working for you, not working for you. So the two of you are living together, and you don't like that. You don't like living with your mother.
I'm not trying to stay there, you know.
Yeah,
I'm trying to get a hold of any kind of money I can to get out of there.
Right. And despite the fact that you're dependent on her, you are rude to her and call her names and are not respectful of someone's home that you are a guest in.
Like,
correct?
I respect her, and you know.
Does he call you names?
Yes, he does.
What does he call you?
He calls me a he calls me a bitch.
Twice, actually.
You've said to us you're not nice to her. You think she shouldn't have even brought you into this world, and then didn't do a good job once she did.
Yeah.
So you resent her.
Well, Like, I kind of just don't like the fact that I'm alive, you know? Like,
You said there were a lot of broken promises growing up. Mm-hmm. Like she was supposed to take you to the aquarium when you were 5 and she didn't do it.
Man, that busts me up, man, because like I
Swim with the dolphins.
Yeah, I wanted to swim with the dolphins really bad, you know? Like, it still messes me up a little bit because like I'd still like to do it.
But ask him how many skateboards I bought him, and all. He had everything that he needed.
I didn't have a parent there to talk about my emotions, or if I did talk about my emotions, like I just get treated badly or.
There's parenting, and then there's what I call reparenting.
Right.
And it's never too late, and that can happen at 20, 30, 40. Sometimes people have asked me, you know, Dr. Phil, do you really think problems are as simple as you make them out to be? And I really don't think problems are simple. But sometimes the solutions are very simple. One of the simple solutions is you just don't reward bad behavior. Because when you reward bad behavior, it tends to repeat. And when you withhold reward from bad behavior, it tends to not repeat. You're rewarding bad behavior. Now, he can call you names, and you can't control that because you don't control him.
Correct.
But you can control where he calls you bad names from. And he's saying, you didn't teach me. Well, okay, so let's make this a teachable moment. If you're a guest in someone's home and you disrespect them and you hit them, you threaten them, you demean them, then you're going to be somewhere else. And you say, well, I don't want him to be homeless. Do you think allowing him to behave like an entitled, spoiled brat is preparing him for the world?
No, I don't.
No, necessity is the mother of invention. He's going to do better when he needs to do better. You give him a car and he says, this is an old lady car? Okay, then take it and sell it to an old lady. I'm not kidding.
I understand that. I
would sell that car before dark today, and I would go buy myself something really nice with the money. Okay? Coming up, Bill wants to know if Michael could be fixed. I don't really think there's anything wrong with Michael except his attitude, and I think he's not requiring enough of himself. But he doesn't have any questions for me, but I got a few for him. We'll be right back. There are jobs that fit every kind of personality.
Let me tell you.
Maybe you need to be a bounty hunter. I don't know. I mean, who knows? I mean, I don't know what fits you, but there's a place for everybody in this world, and it begins with getting you mentally, emotionally, and physically healthy. Well, Isaac emailed me saying he's constantly bumping heads with his roommate, Christina. He says they fight about rent, get drunk and party together every weekend, and hear too much about each other's sex lives. So who's this roommate? Well, it's actually his mother. He says she's his best friend and worst enemy. Take a look.
My mom had me when she was 15. It was me, my grandma, and my mom living together.
I was young and unprepared to be a mom.
My grandma was like a mom to me. I felt like my biological mom was really like my sister my whole life. As I started to get older, I would tell my mom, you can't tell me what to do, you didn't raise me.
Isaac had anger and aggression, and he never respected me as a mother. When we were roommates, we didn't talk like mom and son, it was more like friends.
Once I turned 18, we started going to the clubs. I then got into modeling, and my mom became my manager.
I'm like a momager, which is a mix between a mom and a manager.
When my mom and I walk into a club, we're usually having VIP service. People sometimes think we're dating or we're just best friends. I would like us to be closer and have more boundaries and respect for each other.
I need Isaac to respect me as a mother, not like a sister or a best friend.
You have a question for me. What is it?
Just how we can be more close in a different way, like with boundaries.
Do you agree this is not like a typical mother-son relationship?
It's not.
Well, let me read you an email that he wrote to me. He said, my mom had me at age 15 and says I ruined her life. She never raised me growing up. My grandmother did. The relationship is toxic, and all I craved growing up was to have an actual relationship with my mom. She continuously tells me she didn't even want to have me. It hurts and I hate it. I hate our relationship. I hate everything about what is going on. And just this morning, right before I sent this message, we had a huge argument which pushed me to ask for Dr. Phil's help.
So if I didn't want him, I wouldn't have had him.
Well, you said you didn't want me at that age. That you didn't want to have a kid at that age.
Who wants a child at that age?
Me. I did.
Who wants to be told that they weren't wanted because the mother was too young? Are you kidding me?
It's hard raising a child as a child.
Okay. Do you two, have y'all gone out and partied together?
We have.
You go to the same bar and party together? Do you discuss your sex lives and all?
No.
Like in depth.
You understand he doesn't want that relationship with you. He says his younger siblings have a different relationship with you than he does. They have a mother, he has a friend.
And I agree with that. And I think the reason why we do go out is to kind of like brush what our differences under the rug.
You're the mother here.
But he doesn't respect me as a mother.
You don't act like a mother.
But how am I supposed to act like a mother if he won't even respect it?
You're the
like
adult.
I've tried.
Well, how about staying out of the bar with him? Let's begin there.
Then I'd be
I
bored.
actually did. I actually started. But he doesn't have to grow up. I need him to be responsible. There's times he's very irresponsible, and I don't like that. And I'm like, Isaac, just be responsible, maintain a job.
I am a corporation. I don't want to work for another corporation.
See, and that's because he's very big-headed.
Okay, what's your point?
Well, you said I have to stop going out with him, and I'm telling you, like, that's what I did.
Okay, Isaac says he wants a real mother-son relationship with Christina. I'm going to tell them how to begin that, how to start that, how to go down that path instead of the one they've been on. We'll be right back. I've been talking to Christina about setting the tone about being a mother-son relationship instead of being friends. And here's what I think has happened here, just so you know. I think the two of you started off this relationship that way, and it worked for a while, and then you decided that wasn't what you wanted it different. And I want to talk to you about upstream management, because sometimes we have to manage upstream. Kids have to manage their parents instead of complaining about their parents. He says, okay, I want a mother, but then he doesn't treat me like a mother, doesn't respect me like a mother, doesn't engage me like a mother. He just complains that I'm not a mother.
He hasn't really physically told me, Mom, I want my mom. I want what you give the kids.
Exactly my point. So I'm saying if you want what you want, you have to start defining this relationship in that way. Engage her in a different way. What does she do with your younger siblings?
Hang out with them, go to the movies, go to the park, go to their games, she's never been to any fashion show I've had.
I have.
Well, one.
Yes.
One.
You have one coming up because I put you in that.
Yeah.
So how am I not trying to be a part of your life as a mom?
Okay, y'all stop trying to be right and start listening to each other. He's telling you what he wants. Just give him what he's looking for. Do you understand how many mothers in America would love to hear their sons say, I want you more involved in my life? I mean, come on.
Well, now he's saying it.
Yeah.
And now I can understand it, but
now he's saying it. The only time is now. This is it. And look, it's very apparent to me, you guys at the core have I think, a very solid relationship, and you two love each other, and you have a history that's based on that.
I just feel like I have to cover up a lot of how I feel to like not make her mad, and I don't want to push away the
Tell
little
me,
relationship
I'll get
like we do
over
have.
it.
But I have told you, and you get mad, and you like do this thing where you're not wrong, like I'm wrong.
Okay, but this is what I said to you a few minutes ago. And if you want to be happy instead of right, then you're going to hear what he says. And it really doesn't matter if you agree with it. What matters is that you make sure he knows that you hear what he says and understand it. You don't even necessarily have to respond in the moment. You don't have to react to everything. Just hear each other. But it's not all about complaining about what you don't have. At some point, you have to stop complaining and start asking for what you want. If you want her at your fashion show, ask her to come to your fashion show. If you want to go to dinner, go to dinner.
I just feel like she's too busy though. Like there's always something popping up.
You want all the attention. I can't give you all of my attention. I have to like split it up.
Did you hear anything I said? What did I say? This is a test.
No.
Well, seriously, what was it? What did you hear me say?
Oh my God.
You have no idea what I said, do you?
You said a lot of things.
What I said was, just hear what he says. You don't even need to respond to it. Just reflect on it. For example, he said, "You're really busy, and I feel like you just don't have time for me." And a great response would be, "I hear you saying that you think I don't have time for you. And I want you to know I really hear that, and it's important to me how you feel." Instead of, "Well, I am busy and I have 9 other things to do and there's just not time." Just hear
I get it.
each other. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. We have a huge surprise when we come back. You know, when you have been on the air as long as I have, our crew just really becomes family. So today is a bittersweet day for us because we are saying goodbye to one of our family members.
Pete has been an integral part of the show for 17 years, and now he's decided to retire. He will be greatly missed, and here's what some of his co-workers have to say about him.
Pete has been like family for this past 17 seasons. He is the most genuine man. So in addition to being great at his job, he is a great person.
Go, Dr. Phil.
Pete and I have been working together for over 40 years off and on. Pete was always there for me.
There's always gonna be another mountain. I'm always gonna wanna make it move. Always gonna be an uphill battle. Sometimes I'm gonna have to lose. Ain't about
One thing about Pete I noticed is he's very courageous. He had that tumor and he made a hell of a comeback. It's really an honor to work with a man like that.
it's the climb.
He is just so dedicated to his job. I have never met somebody that is just so inspiring. He's one of my best friends. He's my mentor. He's a great person, and it's been an honor and a pleasure to work with him.
It's been great working with Pete. I'm going to miss talking about fly fishing with him at work.
Pete, love you. Thank you so much for everything you have done for us and everything you have brought to this crew. We will miss you, but we cannot wait for you to enjoy retirement.
You know, Pete's been with us and, as we say, part of our family for like 17 years, and he's kind of what I call old school kind of guy. You know, one day he's working backstage and something fell and hit him in the head and gashed his head open. It happened in the first show we do in the day, and they take Pete to the hospital. I come back over to do the second show. Pete's standing there with a bandage wrapped around his head. I said, "What are you doing here?" He said, "We've got a show to do." I said, "Pete, you should be home. We got a show to do." I mean, he goes to the hospital, he turns around, comes back to make sure he's here to take care of getting the show done. He had a health problem and suffered a bit of a stroke. And, you know, you'd think, well, he's close to retirement, he'll retire. No. He fights his way back, and pretty soon, here he is back again. We got a show to do. And recently, Pete wrote Robin and I both a letter thanking us for so many years of work, but we really want to thank Pete.
I was so touched by Pete's letter and want to share some of it with you. Dear Dr. Phil and Robin, just a note to say thank you for letting me be a part of the Dr. Phil Show for the past 17 years. Thank you also for taking me back after my surgery and stroke. It's not what normally happens in this business. Debbie and I are so appreciative of the support you showed during my crisis. It has been a great privilege to be a part of the highest and best use of television for the last 17 years. What a way to end a career. Thank you, and God bless. Pete Mahoney.
Well, Pete is a very special guy around here as our key grip. He has also worked on our son Jay's show right next door to the doctors, and he taught us all about survival. A brain tumor and a stroke didn't slow him down at all. So, Pete, come out here. Where are you?
So much.
Amen. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Have a seat, y'all. You got to sit down. Pete's not used to being out here when the lights are on and he's holding a microphone, so this is new for him. So, Pete, now that you're retiring, you can spend more time with your wife for 24 years, right? This is Debbie, who's here in the audience. Debbie, good to see you. So, you can do what you love, right?
Yes.
Like going out of the country on church missions, teaching classes to prisoners, right? You like to do that?
Yes.
Or playing the blues on your Telecaster guitar that you built, correct?
Yes, I built 2 of them.
You built 2?
Yes.
Couldn't happen to a nicer guy.
No.
And Pete, we know how much you love playing the guitar. The largest family-owned chain of musical instruments in the country is Sam Ash Music. They have 45 locations around the U.S. And Pete, our friends at Sam Ash Music are giving you this Fender Telecaster electric guitar and case.
Oh, wow. Take a look at that. What do you think?
Awesome.
You can make use of that, right?
Yes, I will.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Now, we also know that you especially love rock and roll and the blues. So how about a special musical trip for you and Debbie? The Memphis Tourism Board are going to fly you and Debbie to Memphis, Tennessee. Oh, wow. You're going to spend 5 nights at the Peabody Hotel, one of the city's most luxurious hotels. And Pete, as you know, Memphis is home of the blues, soul, rock and roll, and to experience it all, you're going to visit Graceland, the home of Elvis Presley, the famous Beale Street, considered by many to be the home of the blues, and the Memphis Music Hall of Fame. So we're going to send you there, and you get to do all of that, right? And, you know, Pete, we just want to congratulate you on your retirement, and we truly hope that you have many years where you can really enjoy it and you guys can spend so much time together, and don't drive her crazy, all right? I just enjoy this special time and know that you always have a home here. The door is always open.
Thank you so much.
All right, I want to thank all of my guests today, and a special thanks to the Memphis Tourism Board and to Sam Ash Music, and a special thanks to Pete. Debbie, thank you for letting us have him all of these years.
Oh, he's awesome.
All right, we'll see you next time.